Well, my guest today is Zion Cruz. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
So you have come from a line of performers and entertainers. Uh, are you second or third generation born in the United States?
I am, I think I'm third born, just because Hawaii is part of the US.
Of
My
course.
mom was born there, so.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, tell us. So you are. What is your cultural heritage?
My mom is Hawaiian, Tahitian, Chinese, and Native American, and my dad is Puerto Rican.
All right. So there you go. You got span on both sides of the U.S.
Yes.
And did you grow up in Hawaii?
I did not. I actually grew up here in Orlando, so Central Florida has been my home my entire life.
And I mentioned your family has been engaged in performing Polynesian, Hawaiian kind of shows at theme parks, etc., for a number of decades, I believe, right?
Yes, yes. It's performing has definitely been something that my family has been passionate about. More so, not only for the entertainment aspect, but for also to educate about our culture.
And growing up in Orlando, did you feel that that kind of cultural aspect of your life uh, was accepted by your friends around at school, et cetera, like that? Or was that something strange and exotic?
It was a little bit of both. I feel that a lot of times I wasn't exactly Puerto Rican enough or Polynesian enough to be with, either side. But I was accepted by all kinds of different people, and it was kind of interesting to see who I really got along with. And as I grew up, then people started to accept on both ends because I was like, hey, I am Hawaiian, I am Tahitian, I am Puerto Rican. Maybe not as much as you, but I am.
Is there one side that you identify with more than another?
um, Growing up, I was definitely more into the Polynesian side. I still am learning more about my Puerto Rican heritage, um, but definitely I act a lot more Polynesian and I know more on my Polynesian side.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
I have, yes, and it is stunning. I've been there, I think, two or three times now.
Great. And you have begun performing on your own, right? Tell me about that.
Yes, so I am a singer-songwriter musician, and I like to, hey, it's me. I like to write music, um, kind of from all genres. I definitely like Adele and Amy Winehouse and kind of that mode. I like funky, jazzy, bluesy kind of music and pop here and there.
And did you know from childhood on that that's what you were going to be doing?
Yeah, I kind of knew early on my ukulele, which I believe I was playing in that picture, I got when I was 11 or 12 for my birthday. And my parents were like, all right, now you can start writing your own music. And I was like, all right. And that night I started just jamming out and writing. And it's kind of always been my passion.
Nice. And do you find there's an audience for what you're writing here in Central Florida?
Yes, actually, a lot of times I get kind of nervous because my music is a little different, and I'll go to open mics or my performances, and I'm like, "Ah, will it connect with the audience?" But somehow it always does, and it's really interesting the connections that you can make with people through music, and then by using some of my culture as well in my music. Um, it's been really interesting to see that the connection with people.
So where do you see yourself 10 years from now? What's life like?
10 years from now, I definitely want to be um, educating more about my culture, learning more myself. I think it's very important to share the culture not only with, you know, your family, but your predecessors, so your children and my nieces and nephews to come, um, and of course to keep that culture alive within not only our family, but to teach other people and educate them. But also with my songwriting, I would love to work more in possibly selling my music. I'm also a vocal coach now, so I like to teach people in general and try to get them more comfortable on stage and with their voice and their music because it's so important.
Central Florida has a very large Puerto Rican population. Do you speak Spanish at all?
I don't. I speak very little. I can understand little bits, but it is something that I want to do. I want to learn more about. Um, Through Fusion Fest, we have connected with the Bomba group. I cannot remember their name, but they were fantastic, and they've reached out to us. We've reached out to them, and it's definitely something I want to get into in this coming year.
Great. Well, Fusion Fest is about honoring our heritages, but also about fusion. So you are a fusion product yourself. So we would expect fusion in your music as well. Can you talk about the most exciting fusion that you've put together?
I definitely think it is the song Ima Ohiao, which I won the songwriting competition with my friend Sebastian Dominguez this past year at Fusion Fest. And that really, it was an important project for me. Like I said, growing up, I wasn't really accepted on either end, Puerto Rican or Hawaiian, Tahitian, the Polynesian aspect. But I kind of was, but I kind of wasn't. And in Ma'ohiao, that song talks about being enough of each culture, every culture that you are. It doesn't matter the percentage that you have, as long as it's in your heart and you know it. It's very important. So that is one of my proudest projects to this day.
Wonderful. Have you gotten to perform that elsewhere around?
I have, yes. We have performed it at our Hiva Ma'ohi, which is like a celebration of Tahitian culture. Ma'ohi is the natives of Tahiti and also Rarotonga, which is now known as Cook Islands. And we also have Maoli, which is the Hawaiians, and Maori, which is from New Zealand. But all of those little things that were very similar as well. And we were able to perform it there and kind of different venues that we felt we could share that special song with.
Other than the many heritages that you already have mentioned, Pacific and Caribbean, like through Fusion Fest or elsewhere in Central Florida, what other cultural heritages have you encountered that intrigue you or interest you?
I love the music from India. I think that their music is so beautiful and so complex, and that's a genre of music that I would love to learn more about. And not only just the music, I mean, the people are beautiful, their clothing, their art, and their food is delicious.
Yes, well, food is a great way to connect with other cultures. But thank you for talking with us today, and we wish you the best with your musical career and all the heritages that you bring to it, and will educate other people as you go about, because I've seen you do that, and it's great. Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us today. at our Diverse Orange conversation about diversity here in Central Florida. Thanks, everyone.